Hi guys, welcome to Codeboard. We are here with our new course on website development. Now, web development is a very interesting job, and if you think you need to have a degree in computer science for becoming a website developer, then you are wrong. Because believe me or not, if you have passion to learn and if you start your journey on the right path, you can certainly become a website developer in less than a year, and that too without any degree. So let's get started with our course. In this course, we're going to learn the basics of HTML and CSS, which mark the foundation of any website. Because no matter what framework or technology you use for building your website, HTML and CSS will always stay at the root of it. So it's important that you know these basics thoroughly. First, let's understand what do we need to start making a website, the prerequisites and the setup required. So we actually need two simple tools which are usually available on every computer, a notepad and a browser. That's it. You can actually build a website by writing your code on a notepad and view the output on the browser. For example, this is my HTML code on a notepad. Now I can also run this on a browser and our code is converted to a website. How cool is this? But don't worry, this is no rocket science, and we are going to study everything in detail throughout this course. So, to begin with, you can use a notepad, but remember it should be saved with .html extension, and then you can run it on a browser. But again, Notepad has some drawbacks. It is not feasible for a large website where we need to handle multiple pages and have more lines of code. So in the place of Notepad, we have several other options like VS Code, Sublime, etc., which are very advanced tools which help in our coding. In this course, in the place of Notepad, we are going to use VS Code for writing our code, just because it will make our life much more easier. How? You'll know shortly. So to follow up with this course, I encourage you to download VS Code from their website. Just go to their website and download the latest version, and simply follow the installation steps to install it on your PC. Once the VS Code is installed successfully, you can simply open it from here. How we are going to use it, we'll see in the further videos. The other thing, of course, is the browser, preferably Chrome, because we are going to view our output on the browser. So here we are going to use Chrome. So that's it. This is the only setup that you require to start building a website. Once your setup is done, the next step is to understand how a website actually works. Now, before starting with the actual coding, let's understand how a website works. And then it will be much easier to understand what we are trying to do when we actually type a code. It's important to understand that every website has two parts, front end and back end. Front end is a part where user interacts with the browser, that is the website. Usually we call it user interface. And the back end is a part where all complex data processing and calculation happens. For example, let's say you visit an internet banking website. The part where you have all the forms and data displayed is your front end, which is more about the styling and how attractive a website looks. And all the complex calculations and processing of the transactions happen at the back end, usually using programming languages such as Java. So every website has a front end and a back end. Front end is built using HTML and CSS combined with languages like JavaScript, which we'll see going ahead, but our major focus is going to be HTML and CSS. Now, the jobs available are also divided in different categories. The first category is front end developer, who will only focus on the user interface and make it look more attractive with the various elements and the styles that are available. Then there comes a backend developer who will take the data, process it, manipulate it, store it, etc. This is possible using languages like Java. And the third category is a full stack developer who takes care of the front end as well as back end. So the full stack developer has to work on both the parts. It is a tough job but not hard to achieve. Going ahead in this course, we are going to focus on front end only and understand the technologies behind it. Now that we know that the front end is a crucial part of a website, let's focus on the internals. That is, the technologies or the languages that you need to know and what they actually mean. The first one is, of course, HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. We're going to learn HTML thoroughly in this course. But remember that it is not a programming language as we don't have any computations involved here. And hence, we simply call it a markup language. That is, it consists of tags that are read by the browser and converted to objects. For example, an image tag like this is converted to an image on the browser. P tag tells the browser that a paragraph has to be shown. Similarly, A tag is for links and so on. So as there is no complex logic involved here, this is simply a markup language that a browser understands and displays the output. A browser reads these tags and shows the respective output on the UI or the web page. Now there are many HTML tags that make a website work, and you will explore more throughout this course. But simply showing these objects on a browser is not enough. We need to style them and make it look more attractive. And here comes the role of CSS, that is cascading style sheets. CSS helps us give colors, alignments, animations, etc. to our objects. That is, we can use it to give background to our web page or just change the color of the font. We can use it to change the width and the height of images and style the tables, etc. So CSS is very important for front-end developer. And a developer must know the properties used to style our websites. In this course, you will get familiar with HTML and CSS. But what a front-end developer also needs to know is JavaScript. And we'll have a separate course on it. JavaScript is majorly used for doing the functionalities on your website, which can be handled at the front end. For example, if you have a calendar and you want to change the date on the calendar and set it to a variable that has to be passed to backend, then that needs JavaScript. If you want to change the fields or select the fields on a drop down and set it to a variable, again you need JavaScript. So for handling the functionalities on the front end, we have JavaScript. Once you know HTML and CSS, you can shift your focus to JavaScript. Now you might think, then what are these new booming technologies or frameworks like Angular, React, Vue, etc.? These are nothing but the libraries or the frameworks which combine HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and make our life easier. So these are like simple frameworks internally using the previous languages mentioned. So once you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can easily learn the rest of the frameworks because the foundation for all is the same. So this is the learning path of a front-end developer. HTML, CSS should take you around 4 to 6 weeks to learn. JavaScript will take another 6 weeks. I don't say you will have a complete knowledge of JavaScript in 4 or 6 weeks, but you will know what is required to build an application. And then you can shift to Angular or React or Vue. Learning any one of this should be enough, and it will take you another 4 weeks. So within 4 to 5 months, you can become a front-end developer. Now that we have a gist of everything, in the next video, we'll start with the actual practical examples. So stay tuned and subscribe for more such videos.